Hello and welcome to Cornwall. My name's Andy Paramore. This is Andy's Cornish Creations, and in this video I'm going to be turning a pumpkin from this piece of log that was from a hedge that I cut down. I've had it on the bandsaw already and cut it roughly round and got it on a worm screw with some tailstock support as well. Here I'm just turning it to round first. Now we speed it up to 4 times the speed just to keep the video reasonably short. I'm just getting roughly a not quite round, but a sort of a squashed round shape. It resembles a pumpkin. I'm using a 1/2 inch bowl gouge. And just really eyeballing the shape, just to it doesn't have to be anything exact. Here I'm using my skew chisel. It's about 1 inch wide, this one, and it's a negative rake, so it's got a bevel on both sides, and it's just to take the high and the low points from the tool, from the bowl gouge. Tends to leave a bit rough. And here I've got the sanding disc on the drill. I'm starting at 80 grit, and I'll work it all the way down to 400 grit. Oh look, looks like I've got a little visitor in the workshop. Hey. Here's Ivy, come to say hello.
What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing?
I think she's after a little treat, actually. Don't know how, but I managed to forget to switch on the camera when I put the colour on. But you do get a chance later on in the video to see me add colour to the lid when I turn that. Here I'm using a force and a bit to start the hollowing process. I've got the bowl turned around and onto the chuck. I've got 2 different sizes. I think this second one's about 50mm, thereabouts. And now I'm starting to hollow. I don't do a lot of hollowing, actually, and I think this is probably the sort of the biggest hollow form I've actually done. Normally I think I've done goblets and boxes, and I think that's been about it really, but nothing quite like this one, so it was interesting to try. And the wood's quite soft. It's only off a sort of a hedge, so the wood's quick growing and not too stable, but it's nice and soft. Here I'm starting to create the lid for the pumpkin. So I'm just going to put this angle on it. I've put an opposite angle on the actual pumpkin bowl, and I think what I'm going to do here is going to mount the pumpkin again and just test fit the lid. And I'll bring up the tailstock, and I can form or start to form at least, the lid, just so that it fits into the shape nicely. I got a little bit of a wobble there. The tailstock wasn't quite tight enough, but no problem. And I only really need to form this little bit at the bottom that meets up with the rest of the pumpkin. So now I can get the pumpkin out of the way, get the lid into the chuck, and continue turning the lid. And what I want to create here is a little stalk at the top, and then the sort of the pumpkin shape where it sort of comes round and dips into where the stalk goes into the pumpkin. So there'll be a bit of sanding next. This is the 1/2 inch bowl gouge again. So a bit of sanding, and then I'll be using the colour, which is a water-based stain. We shall see me use in a minute. Again, I'm sanding it from 80 down to 400. So first of all, I apply the yellow, and it's too yellow at the moment, so I've got some red, and I just add a little bit of the red to the yellow so that it just turns it orange. I don't put too much of the red on because it'd be overpowering. Here I've got some abrasive paste to give it a bit of fine sand and a shine. And the little bit round the edge needs some colour as well. So I'm just applying the yellow and then the red onto that. Now I'm marking the design for the face. This I've got using a sort of not a Dremel, but a Dremel type of cutter, and but the bit in it is not very good. It's not really cutting. But the idea is just to put a hole in each corner and then work in from that. This cutter's a little bit better, and it's cutting it. It's making a much better job of it. That's one of the eyes done. And do the nose. It is working a lot better with this cutter. So a hole in each corner, and then just join the dots basically. I did leave it with a bit of a rough edge, so I'm just using a mini rasp just to straighten up the cuts. And leave it nice and sharp. into the corners, whereas the drill leaves sort of rounded corners. It worked quite well. And later on I'd go with a slightly finer file and just take off those sharp edges. Here I'm backing with the Dremel, going between the teeth and then just joining up again, like a zigzag pattern, so that you can, when the light's on, you can see right through its mouth to the light. This little cutting blade on the Dremel. And the little sanding attachment, just to give a bit of shape to those teeth. I'm not too worried about sort of fine-tuning them, because it's supposed to look a bit rough and scary, so it's fine. And just go in with the little rasp again, just to finish things off. And there we go. Okay, so there we have it. A pumpkin turned from it was a Leylandii hedge that I cut down, and this is it was quite large, and this is one of the logs that I cut down for burning, and I've used for this, which worked out quite well because it's nice and soft and light, and yeah, little lid, hollowed out, fairly thin, so that when I cut it out it wouldn't be too difficult to cut through, because if it had been really thick it would have been hard work, so I kept it as thin as I thought would be feasible. And yeah, I'm really pleased with it. It's very effective, and yeah, great fun little project for Halloween. So hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. So if you haven't subscribed, if you could subscribe, that'd be great, and ring the little notification bell, and that will let you know that whenever I upload another video. And please leave a comment. I'm catching up with the comments a bit now, so that'll be great, and I do like reading them all, and I do try to answer them all. So, from here in Cornwall, my name's Andy Paramore. This is Andy's Cornish Creations, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks.